Hey everybody, welcome to Workforce Gaming. I'm Brad here with Doug.
Hi.
This past weekend was the Monster Hunter Worlds beta.
Yep.
So we both got some time to play this. Now, I am pretty much completely new to Monster Hunter. I don't know if you are at all. I think you have a
Uh,
little bit more experience than me.
the only history I have with Monster Hunter was reading a PSM magazine when the first one came out, and it got a 7.
And that's your entire history of Monster Hunter. Is it got a 7 like 20 years
20 years
ago?
ago. No, actually, the thing, no, about the series, I've always kind of admired it from afar because I always I love games with good creature design. I always thought Monster Hunter had super, super cool creature design. And then I was always kind of bummed that it kind of always looked like a PS2 game for almost the entire franchise. So I was actually pretty excited when it was coming to PS4 because I've been like, okay, finally these cool creature designs can look like next gen or whatever else. But I think the monsters actually look super super cool. So I mean that was pretty much it. It had cool monsters and it had action combat. I didn't know it had all this other stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot in here, and I think maybe spending a bit more time because I did. There's three missions you can do, like an easy,
Yeah.
medium, and hard. I did the easy one, had no problems with it. The medium one, it was fine, and then got my butt kicked by the hard one, and kind of went, well, okay, I tried it. But there's a lot here, and I don't really know if I even played it right.
And yeah, no, I don't disagree. I think I remember when this was first rumored for a long time. There's all this talk about a casual version that cut out all the RPG stuff. I was like, having played this version, I kind of wouldn't mind the casual version of this. I think it's just
Yeah,
because they throw. I mean, if you're not familiar with the series, I mean, we're like I said, neither of us are really familiar with the series. They throw so much stuff at you at once. I think you get 6 armor types, you get 16 weapons, and then I think 20 different items to use, and they don't explain anything. And I get that it's hey, you don't have to, but it's a demo. You need to explain something. You need to
yeah,
explain some things. So I think it was interesting in that regard, playing around and trying to figure out what things do. But I think I'm kind of with you. I wasn't sure how to play the game because it definitely doesn't play like an action game, and not
which
like a
is
traditional action game.
definitely how I tried to play it.
Yeah, and then I was like, okay, if it's not a traditional action game, maybe I'll play Dark Souls, and it doesn't quite work like that. I don't get this game at all. I don't understand it.
Yeah, and that was kind of my feeling too. It was I just what do I do? And again, I think maybe it's a beta. They just kind of throw you into the middle of it.
Yeah,
Clearly, I would assume. I'm assuming you don't start the game with all that with all those options, and that you got to
yeah,
build up to that point. And they didn't want to start you with here's your little knife, go hunt a rabbit.
yeah,
Which, again, having no history with the series, I might assume that's how that starts. But
yeah, yeah,
um, it felt very overwhelming, and I think that was almost what turned me off of it a bit. Is because again, I went into this going okay, Monster Hunter games always seemed cool, but
yeah.
way too complex.
Hmm.
Just not. Never felt like it was for me. And it's okay, we want everybody in on this one, and I feel like this almost kind of went the yeah, we want everybody in on this, but this is also our way to say hey, those of you who've played this before, the stuff you still want's here, the stuff that you're still going to need, the stuff that you still have always loved, it's in here. Here's us showing you that piece is still here, but even though all the more casual stuff that we've been showing, that we've been trying to talk about, that we've been trying to message, that's there too.
Yeah, yeah. No, I can see it, but I think the way they maybe, and honestly, they maybe could have mitigated that by just giving you a loadout that was beginner's loadout and expert loadout or something like that. Because I
Yeah,
just I didn't know what to choose. I didn't know what I was looking at. I think that's what it was. I wouldn't really talk too much about the game. It's I guess the gameplay aspect, but I think the thing that was immediately not frightening, it's not the right word, but immediate, what did you say, unfriendly about it was just there's so much back end stuff, and that stuff drives me crazy in normal games. And it's kind of the reason I like the Dark Souls and Bloodborne series, that you don't actually spend a whole lot of time messing around with that stuff if you don't want to.
yeah,
And in this one, it felt like I was preparing, I was building a character to prepare for something I didn't understand at all. So I was I don't know, do I need fire armor? Who knows?
yeah.
Do I
And
need? Yeah,
and again, I think that's part of that thing where it's this is kind of catering to those normal Monster Hunter fans, those people who
yeah,
like this game because they know right away. Oh, perfect! I have access to these 16 different types. Cool. I always use this type. Cool. Here's the armor set I like. Let's do this. Whereas me, I went, ooh, that's the big sword from the trailer. I'm gonna use that one.
yeah.
And then I
Yeah.
used that and went, oh, that's really slow. Ooh, these are like twin swords. I'll try those ones. That moved a lot faster. Okay, I think I like that better. Didn't touch the armor stuff at all. It just was like, you're wearing this armor. And I went, great, I'm wearing that armor.
Yeah, yeah. I actually tried messing around with the items because I think because to beat like the expert monster, you kind of do need to use the items, and even the items were just like it was like I just found it difficult just even like going through my items because like there's 15 items you can go through. It's kind of hard just to select them to the thing I wanted to select. So, like I'm running around like trying to pick items. I wasn't quite sure how they worked, and then using them, not quite sure like what they would do. Um, and then like I think like everything surrounding like just that all that back end stuff. Like there's so many bars and like oh no, my weapon's dull, so I have to use like a whetstone. There's just so many systems that I felt like I had to like keep track of that I wasn't just enjoying the fight and the world because the world and the fight were kind of cool. It just felt like I just didn't understand. Like I was clearly not prepared for what this fight was, and I was just like flailing.
Yeah,
And
that's
yeah,
that's
yeah,
very much what it feels like. Is it felt like I was just button mashing. And again,
yeah.
only playing a couple fights, having never touched this series before. And again, that's probably what you feel like a lot if you jump into a series. There's very few series I can sit here and go like, oh yeah, I'm jumping into this 6 games in or 10 games
Yeah.
in. So obviously there's that missing component. But I do thinking about it now. I'm pretty sure there was a training area, and I went, I don't need to go through that.
Oh, I did. It doesn't. It shows you like some basic combos for your weapons, but it doesn't
Oh,
teach you how to do anything else. Like it doesn't show you anything or anything like that. So
okay, so I didn't miss out there because that was my
no.
thought after the third one was like, well, I'm past the point now where I want to do the tutorial, but I probably should have done the tutorial, so I'm
Yeah.
just gonna be done with this.
Yeah, yeah, and like even doing the tutorial, like it's like the comp, like I guess it's just kind of a staple of the series. Like the weapons are, they purposely have like long animations, so you really
Yes.
have to figure out like when is the right opportunity to attack. But I mean, Dark Souls and Bloodborne are like have the same thing where you have to like wait to figure out when to attack, but they're much faster. So it was like weird playing like a slower version of that and like not quite understanding what it was. And honestly, like the entire time I was playing it, because I knew Horizon was like really inspired by Monster Hunter, and like I think the part where Horizon succeeded is that it burns away a lot of the back end stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely there, but like you could spend a lot of time in Horizon wandering without dicking around with menus. And this one, I felt like I was just like constantly trying to figure out like what the hell's in these menus and stuff. And it's just like it felt like super gamey, like when it was like trying to be this cool. I thought the world and stuff was like really neat, and the monsters were really cool, and it kind of looked like there's some sort of ecosystem going on. But like the entire time, it just felt like there's just I didn't understand what I was doing, and that felt weird because like I feel like most games these days you do there's just a basic understanding how the game works and like you can figure it out like pretty quickly, but this one's just like I don't get it.
Yeah, but I do think that's kind of cool though to a certain point as well that, both of us have been playing games for, 20 plus years at this
Yeah.
point. And here's a game that comes along that both of us are sitting here going like, I just don't know what to do, which is a feeling that I don't get very often.
That's true. Yeah.
Almost any other game you put in, you can pretty much figure out right away. Oh, it's one of these. Okay, I got this. But this feels very different. It feels very unique, which I think is why this series has such a huge following.
Yeah.
I do have to say though, like the ecosystem stuff, the environments, it was a very interesting look and feel to the game, and very much made me want to just kind of wander around a bit.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm curious in that aspect of like, what is this world? What can I see? What are the monsters that are out there? That whole thing gave me kind of like a Xenoblade Chronicles feel, a Horizon feel, where it's just like, okay, just wandering around, seeing what's there. That aspect seems cool, but I think you hit it right on the head when you said, you know what, this is what Horizon would be, is if you really went into detail about every
Yeah.
elemental type, every super specific arrow, if you went really into detail other than just assigning everything one simple number. I think this
Yeah.
is where Horizon is, and you can definitely see that correlation. So I don't know. You were kind of really pumped about this game. Are you still?
I'm kind of no, I'm kind of like tepid on it because like I was kind of hoping like because I play Destiny with my family, and I was kind of hoping this would be like the next game we could play as a family. I was like, oh, this would be a fun monster hunting game, but I just think like my disappointment more was like I knew I could spend the time to understand it because there's just a lot of complex mechanics, but I was like, if I was gonna play this like with 4 other people, I don't want to play with 4 other people who play Monster Hunter all the time. I want to play with like 4 people who don't play a lot of games, and this would be a casual, fun to drop in, drop out thing, but it's just not that. And I felt like, oh, this is going to be one of those games that I need to invest a lot of time in. I'm not feeling those games like just in general anymore.
Yeah.
And I haven't felt those like for a while. Like I don't like those games that have like a lot of time investment because I would honestly, if I had $60, I would rather play like 3 other games instead of just like one $60 game for, however long,
Yeah.
for like 80 hours sort of thing. I just felt like, okay, it's going to take me a long time to get good at this. And then if I'm going to spend the time to get good at it, I am going to get to the point where I'm going to do multiplayer games and I'll still be the worst one. And
That's
like,
always the best feeling.
yeah. Yeah, and then it's like the people I want to play with, like it's gonna be too complex for me to explain how this game even works because I barely understand how to play it, like under it works and like the amount of time it will take. So I think it's just more disappointing in that aspect. And then I was kind of hoping that it would be open world is not the right word. I was kind of hoping it had more of those like wandering around moments, and it might, but it's like here's 3 timed missions. Like you can't explore. You just need to hunt this thing. And I was like, crap. This whole game is like timed hunting missions. Like I'm out.
Yeah, the time limit kind of threw me off when that came up too. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
shit, I better get moving. Like, how long does it take me to hunt a monster? Like,
Yeah.
is 20 minutes gonna be cutting it closer? Can I do this in 5? And I get 15 minutes to kind of play around. So
Yeah.
I know for me, the first one, like I was just like, okay, where's the monster? Okay, I'm just gonna book it there. Ooh, that's pretty. Nope, don't. I got 18 minutes left. Get out of the way.
Yeah, I finished the last monster with like 2 minutes left, and I was just
okay.
yeah.
I was like, 'cause I think the first one, I want to say did in like half the time, and the third one, I think it was, or the second one, I think it was just over half. So yeah, I guess maybe a slow build up as you get to the harder ones, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a very interesting game. I don't know. Having played it for an hour or two with this beta, I don't know if I'd ever go back to it.
Yeah.
Just because it does. I think me and you are very much in a similar place where, we've got full-time jobs. We got stuff to do. Like, I can't sit here and play Monster Hunter for 120 hours. It's going to be 2 months worth of game time, essentially, for me. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's one of those things where if there was a simplistic version, I'd be all over it.
Like
and
Horizon?
I think you're right that is Horizon, and I'm
Yeah.
all about Horizon. So,
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like I felt like the most exciting, fun part of that was the hunting monsters, and I think the part that is supposed to be fun is the planning for the hunt for the monsters, as opposed to the actual fighting.
yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe I just don't understand the series, and like maybe a weekend is probably not a long enough time.
No,
to introduce
definitely
people to
not.
the
I don't
series.
think, by no means do I think we should probably not be your decision on whether or not you buy this game. But
Yeah,
it's an interesting thing to come into, having being fresh to the series, I think, versus,
Yeah.
I think a lot of these games just kind of get pushed to the side, just go, oh, it's another Monster Hunter, and I think it's cool that Capcom is trying to expand a little bit out and go, okay, let's get some more people into this. Let's see who else is
Yeah.
here. Like, get some more people into this franchise with maybe something that, even if it's still complex, is a little bit more simplified than kind of the older versions of the series.
Yeah.
But anyway, we are Workforce Gaming. You can follow us on Twitter at Workforce Gaming. Subscribe to us on YouTube, all that stuff, and we will see you next time.
Bye.